Hey, okay. So I wanted to share with you about a woman in the Bible. So you know how it goes in church. You'll hear about John 3:16 or Philippians 4:13. We've got all these staples in Scripture, and we know those Bible stories even probably from childhood if you were raised in the church. But for me, whenever I was reading in Luke 18, this passage about this persistent widow, I couldn't recall ever reading about this woman or hearing a sermon on her, but it just jumped out at the page to me, and I'll tell you why. So in this passage, is very small, very not much to say about this woman, and where she was from, what she was doing. You don't see very many details about her. You just know that she was a widow, so she lost her spouse, and she was persistent with the judge. So with the judge, she's trying to gain justice. At that time, men would be the ones who would come before a judge in that scenario, and her being a widow marginalized her in her society. So she was not someone they would say, oh, she's the one I want to hear from. She would have been the last people would have wanted to hear from. But you'll notice the judge was so frustrated with her, and she kept coming before him, and he finally, because of her persistence, gave her justice. So I believe there is something we can all gain from that and learn from that persistency with the Lord, okay? If we're going to parallel these two stories, persistency with the Lord will never return void. So if God is asking you to believe for something, or to pray into something, or say, hey, my latter will be greater than my former, or there is a specific thing I'm believing God for, if that's a house, if that's a relationship, if that's a job, if that's a specific community, if that's just having friends, whatever it is that you are bringing to the Father, be persistent. Whether you're seeing that thing in the natural or not, stay persistent in your faith and stay persistent knowing God is going to come through for you. Again, it may not be in the time that you want. It may not look like how you want. It may not operate in the way you would have done it, but that's why he's God and we are not, because he does see the whole picture. He sees everything at hand, and things that we can't even fathom or understand, he sees it. So continue to place it before him. You placing it before him, whether you're seeing it or not, doesn't change his authority as being God. He's still God. He still sits on the throne, whether you're seeing it yet or not. So just want to encourage you, those of you who are having faith and pressing in and believing for something, that he will prove himself to be faithful. Okay, bye.